the live stream. This is day 17 of our, sorry, this is day 16 of me going live for 28 days in the month of February for meditation and mindfulness talks as well as mental health chats. So today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to tell you about 3 meditation techniques that you can use when you can't focus. So this is for people who have busy brains. This is for people who have non-busy brains. This is for people who think they can focus sometimes, and other times, not so much. So if you're watching, whether in the replay or you're watching currently, type below in the comment section what questions you may have for me as we're on this talk. All right, so this might be super quick and super simple. So first I want to talk about what is meditation. And so meditation is when you change your state of focus using the mind, the body, or the breath. So meditation is basically changing your state of awareness. By the way, do you like my art wall? These are all of these I painted except for this one right here, but this is my art wall and these are my paintings. Anyways, let's focus. So, first, what is meditation? Meditation is when you change your state of awareness using your mind, your body, or breath. And a simpler definition of that is that meditation is focused awareness. So, anytime you are focusing on one thing and you are becoming aware of that one thing and you're actively trying to focus on it, that's meditation. What meditation is not, let's just make this clear. What meditation is not is trying to clear your mind of thoughts, trying to force thoughts out of your mind, or thinking that you're bad at meditation because you keep thinking. That's a common misconception. Your brain is meant to think while you meditate. You will have thoughts when you meditate, and it is perfectly normal, and it doesn't mean that you're meditating wrong. It actually means you're doing it right when you have thoughts. When you have thoughts when you're meditating, it means you're doing it right, because the purpose of meditation is to notice when you do have thoughts. And all that means is that the mind has wandered. And that's good, because when you notice that your mind has wandered, it's a chance for you to recenter your brain around whatever you're trying to focus on. So if you're trying to focus on an affirmation like, I am smart, I am this, I am that. And then you start thinking about, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat for lunch? Did I text that person back? I think I forgot. Then you realize when you're meditating, you're like, wait, I'm thinking about something that is not the affirmation. Okay, let me refocus. I am smart. I am wonderful. So meditation literally just is focusing on one thing. Then, when you notice that your mind has lost focus, you regroup and then you focus some more. And then, while you're focusing, you might slowly drift away onto other thoughts. Then, you notice that your mind is thinking. Then, you regroup again. And meditation is the circle of focusing, wandering, and then refocusing. Focusing, wandering, and then refocusing. So I have 3 techniques for you. This first one is a very popular one. One name for it is called Vipassana meditation. It's when you are focusing on your breath while you meditate, and a very common amount or length to do this meditation is to do it for 20 minutes at a time. And that's also a great time to meditate in one session for 20 minutes. Ideally, 20 minutes a day. However, I always like to tell people, if you have 5 minutes to meditate, then meditate for 5 minutes. If you have 10 minutes, then even better, meditate for 10 minutes. But if you have 20 minutes, definitely go for 20. Vipassana is when the focal point of the meditation is actually your breath. So, for example, you can start by sitting. All of these meditations you can do sitting down. As long as you're comfortable It really, just don't worry about how you're sitting, standing, posture wise, laying down. Don't matter about that. Just about what your brain is doing. So you can sit, close the eyes, make sure your face is relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Then start to focus on your breath. Feel your breath on the inhale. Feel your breath on the exhale. What we won't try to do is change the breath. If it is fast, let it be fast. If it is slow, let it be slow. Don't change the pace of the breath. Just feel the breath. Again, feel the inhale, feel the exhale. That is Vipassana meditation. And literally, it's noticing your breath. That's it. For however long you're doing it, 5 minutes or 20 minutes. The only thing that we really should be concerned about when we meditate, and it's not even a concern, it's just something to be aware of, is that when the mind wanders. Because my mind wanders all the time, and I'm a meditation teacher. And I've been meditating for years, since like 2021, and a yoga teacher. And from the outside looking in, people say I look real zen and real calm and all that. But I still lose focus when I meditate, just like everybody else. The only difference is I understand that when I lose focus, it's actually a good thing, because it makes me know that I'm raising my level of awareness as I'm meditating, because I'm aware of my thoughts. And when you're meditating, you want to be aware of the fact that you're having thoughts. But don't focus too much on the thoughts. Just notice that your mind has began to think about something. And then when you notice that, your mind has drifted off, sorry, then come back to the breath and refocus again and again and again and again. And you do that daily until you realize that your mind has strengthened its ability to focus for a longer period of time. So that's the first one. It is a Vipassana meditation. Some people also call this like mindfulness meditation, but Vipassana is the term. Okay, another style of meditation is I call it tapping meditation. There might be another wiser term for this. However, this one is amazing for people who feel like they have a difficult time sitting and just breathing, and sitting and closing the eyes and just doing this. If you find that really frustrating because you find it difficult, this one is for you. So what you're going to do is get your fingers, get all your hands, all two of them, and flip them palm upward. Then you can close your eyes and just start to feel your breath. Okay, every time you inhale, you're going to tap your thumb to a finger, and every time you exhale, you're going to tap your thumb to the next finger. So let's practice. First, close your eyes with your palms up. Then inhale, tap your thumb to your pointer finger. Exhale, tap your thumb to your middle finger. Inhale again, tap your thumb to your ring finger. Exhale, tap the thumb to the pinky finger. Just repeat that. Inhale, tap the thumb to the pointer finger. Exhale, tap the thumb to the middle finger. Inhale, tap the thumb to the ring finger. Exhale, tap the thumb to the pinky finger. And then you're going to repeat again, and repeat and repeat and repeat until you have reached the 5-minute mark, or the 10-minute mark, or the 20-minute mark, however long you're meditating for. Some things about this style of meditation. You are syncing your breath, like inhale, tap, exhale, tap, inhale again, tap, exhale again, tap. So you're syncing your breath with your body movement. Because your hands are involved, it gives your mind something else to focus on other than just your breath. Just sitting and doing this can be really frustrating for people who are beginners at meditating. I get it, because I was once also a beginner at meditating. However, adding some body part into it makes it a lot doable for your brain. And I understand this because, to be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I find meditating frustrating still to this day. So I actually practice yoga more than I do seated meditation and just sitting, because when I practice yoga, my body's moving. I feel like I'm airbending. I feel like Avatar. Like I just I like to have my body move while I'm breathing. And honestly, yoga is a form of meditation. It's just when you're moving and focusing on the movement instead of just focusing on your breath while sitting. They are the same, just they come in different packages. So do what package suits you the best. So yeah, okay. Here's the third technique. Also, if you have any questions about these techniques, comment below so I can answer your questions. Also, if you enjoyed this, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and that will help me so much. So thank you. So the third technique is, let's see, I have breathing, focusing on your breath. I have tapping your fingers. The third technique I have is counting your breath. And this technique is called, I was trying to remember what the technique is called, but I'm not able to remember it right now. It's called Zen breath meditation. So that is when you sit. You do this meditation actually with your eyes slightly open, traditionally. And you count your breath from 1 to 10. You count each inhale and each exhale as a number. So, for example, you're sitting. It is recommended to do this mudra, and a mudra is a hand placement. All right, but with these type of meditation techniques, if you don't do it to the T, it's still okay, because the intention behind it is that you are focusing your awareness on one thing that's helping train your mind to focus. Okay, so this is how I do it. I use this mudra. I forgot what it's called. But either way, it's often we do hand movements without knowing them. So just a caveat about mudras. Mudras are simply a hand placement that allows your brain to focus easier. This is a mudra right here. Have you ever seen a person who's a business person talking and they want to focus on what they're saying and they want to sound super smart, whatever they're saying out of their mouth? If they do this, you think they're really smart, right? And they make this face. So, do we have a deal or no deal? This is a mudra right here, actually. This is a mudra. This is a mudra. This is a mudra. I know you've seen this one, right? Some people in certain cultures greet each other like this. Some people, they pray like this. This is a mudra. Each hand movement, that, all of these things, we do these things unknowingly throughout the day. I do them when I talk. And because, hands are very expressive. So a mudra is simply, and even this mudra, a mudra is simply a hand placement that makes it easier for you to focus on whatever you're doing. And they're science based as well, but if you don't want to use mudras during your meditation, I totally understand. Anyways, let's get back to the Zen meditation. This is called Zen breath meditation. So for example, you have your eyes slightly open. Then you start to focus in on your breath first. Notice your inhale. Notice your exhale. Then you'll start to count your breath up until you get to 10, and then you begin again from 1. So for example, inhale, 1. Exhale, 2. I'm going to use my hand to guide it. Inhale, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then after you get to 10, start again from 1. So again, 1. This is my inhale. This is the exhale. Hand down, exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? The way you do the meditation is you don't do this or that. I was just doing that on screen so you could see that on my inhale, I motioned this for inhale, I'm counting a number. And on my exhale, I'm also counting the next number until you get to 10. And then once you get to 10, begin again from 1. Just counting your breath. So numbers is something that helps us focus. And if, again, you don't want to just sit and breathe, if it feels really uncomfortable at the beginning of your, you starting to meditate, to just sit and focus on your breath. And if you get frustrated and you don't know if you're doing your meditation right, then you could try counting your breath from 1 to 10. And that, just counting in your head, will help you focus on your breathing as well as focus on the counting. So those two, this meditation has 2 focal points to it. So yeah, that's that's pretty much it. So again, the first technique for busy minds is breathing, and focus on your breathing. So the Vipassana meditation is great for someone who's either like, maybe you've meditated before and you have more time to meditate for 20 minutes. And honestly, everyone has time to meditate. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that you don't have time, because everyone has time. It's just what you make your time, what you allocate your time for, and what you prioritize and what you think is best. But you have time to meditate for 20 minutes. However, if you're beginning and you just want to do it for 5 minutes, you can. And you can focus on your breath and just feel your breath coming in and going out. Feel your inhale, your exhale. Then you realize and recognize when your mind has wandered off onto thought. And then when you notice that your mind has wandered and you start thinking, you're like, oh wait, I'm thinking about thoughts that aren't about the meditation. Let me refocus. Okay? Then you guide yourself. Inhale, exhale. And as well, a lot of people use guided meditations. I have some guided meditations on Insight Timer. So if you go actually to it should be in my description box of my videos. If you go to Insight Timer, you can find my link to my guided meditations, and I have a couple free ones on there that you can just listen to. So that's the first one, is the breathing and just focusing on your breath. The second one is tapping your thumb to each finger on your hand in rhythm with your breath. This one I think is one of my favorites for beginners, because if you don't like counting, like the third one, and if you don't just want to sit and breathe either, like the first one, this is a really good rhythmic technique. Like I said, I like to practice yoga more than I like to do seated meditation, because when I practice yoga, I'm moving my body, and I love to move my body because I can literally feel myself getting looser as I'm breathing, and I'm able to focus more, and I can focus on my movement and let the movement actually be the meditation. Let the movement be what I'm focused on, instead of just me sitting there focusing on the breath. It makes it easier for me to get in my holistic flow, you know what I'm saying? My flow state. All right, so the third one was counting each breath from 1 to 10, and then starting again from 1, and then just repeating that for the whole duration of your meditation. Again, I recommend that for each of these. Maybe here's a guideline. If you are a beginner, if you've never meditated before, and meditation, the idea of meditating for more than 10 minutes makes you a little frustrated, in order to commit at first in the beginning, maybe you can start with 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. Until you can meditate every single day, start with 5 minutes. Then, after a week, if you feel like 5 minutes is easy, bump it up to 7. Then, after that, bump it up to 10. Then, bump it up until you get to 20. Do it in increments. It's like changing your diet. If you have never eaten healthy in your life and you've always eaten Doritos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and McDonald's for dessert, you know what I'm saying? You've eaten junk. And then you want to go from doing that to eating salads every day, or doing a fruit cleanse or whatever, for eating fruit every day and vegetables. That's going to be a huge drastic change all at once. In order to make that change better, in order to make that transition smoother, maybe if you ate 3 hamburgers a day, you want to bump it down to 1 hamburger a day. Okay. And do that for a week. And then after you do that for a week, then have no hamburgers, or have 1 hamburger a week. You know what I'm saying? Incrementally reduce your hamburger intake. What I'm saying is incrementally wean yourself off of the unhealthy habits so that you can get into the healthier things. So apply that to your mindset when you're meditating. If you've never meditated ever before and you're trying to go from like never meditating ever in your life to meditating every day for 20 minutes, if that seems like a really big jump, understood, because it can be, and it can be really frustrating at first when you're a beginner and you're meditating. So I recommend start with 5 minutes a day. Then once you show yourself that you can commit to that time per day, it'll seem easy. After a week, after 2 weeks of doing 5 minutes, it'll seem easy. Cause it is. Then bump it up to 7, okay? Then bump it up to 10. Then keep bumping it up until you get to 20 minutes a day of your meditation. Then you'll be able to meditate like a pro. Okay, so if you didn't catch all of these techniques, go ahead and watch the replay. Give this live a thumbs up. And this was day 16 of 28 days of mindfulness talks and mental health chats. So, yeah, thanks so much for tuning in to these talks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Peace and blessings.